like it turns around at that certain point.
Yeah, yeah, that's.
I never heard of it until.
Hi, Jane.
Jane.
Good morning.
I'm gonna rename myself.
You are. What's your? Oh.
It says Diane.
How many Diane Sencilios do we need in the world? A lot.
No. Yeah. I think the world can only handle one. There's Patty. Good morning, Patty. And there's Renee. Good morning, Renee and Wendy. Hi, everybody. And Lynn. Excellent.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Diane, did you get another superstar to come talk to us today?
I have the superstar of all time.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Right here with me. Right.
Diane be getting all the good people.
Making me blush.
Michael and Dr. Shaheen. Good morning, Dr. Shaheen. And Michael.
Good morning.
Always great to see everybody.
Good morning.
The test. Not at front.
Oh, and Kathy.
Is it? Okay, something.
Yeah.
I'll grab it.
Okay, thank you.
I'll be right back.
Oh, excellent. Craig. Good morning, Craig.
Morning.
Hi, I'm joining here. Hi, and hi, Lynn. It's so nice to see both of you. Lynn and Craig are our wonderful volunteers. Wayman, good morning.
Good morning. How is everybody?
Hi, we're doing well.
Good to see you.
Oh, and there's Daryl Green. There's
Daryl coming in. Yep. Thanks, Keith. I did reach out to Daryl through his website and got him. So
thank you so very much.
Excellent.
Thank you so very much.
All right. Okay. Good morning, everyone. If you could please mute your phones until we're ready to talk and speak. That would be appreciated.
Good morning, and good morning. I'm going
good morning,
to good morning. Gotta say good morning first.
Okay.
Good morning second. Hey, what's up? What's up, fam? Hey, Diane, how y'all doing? Good.
Good morning.
Oh, man, I'm just super excited for you this morning, man. So I just want to tell you I love you. You're gonna do an amazing job. I love you too, bro. I appreciate it. Peace and love, you guys. I'm back on mute.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Thank you for joining us this morning. We have a special guest with us this morning, Mr. Keith Cartwright. And the title of his message is Second Chances. And I'm sure we can all relate to needing a first, a second, a third chance when we've, needed it, and also giving people second chances. So Mr. Cartwright is going to talk to us about that today. The quote is, "I will forever believe in second chances and forgiveness, because if it weren't for those two things, I would and should be dead." And this is by Diedrich Hitter. Powerful quote. Mr. Keith Cartwright is a father, a grandfather, and a renewed man, and he's here to share with us the power of second chances. We often think that we are the ones who must forgive others and give others a second chance. But what about forgiving ourselves and giving ourselves a second chance? Keith believes that the true second chance first begins with self. How many of us can agree to that? In order to forgive others, we have to forgive ourselves. In order to love others, we have to love ourselves, and so on. It has to start with self first before we can give it away to anybody else, right? After serving 3 major incarceration sentences in prison, totaling 36 years, Keith realized that he had to first forgive himself and then earn his second chance in life. Keith stated he did his time, paid for his mistakes, and is now giving himself the chance to change his life for the better. Keith is currently engaged and works for the Waterfront Partnership of Baltimore, which is a nonprofit organization that oversees the Waterfront Management Authority, a business dedicated to improving the maintenance and beautification of Baltimore's waterfront at the Inner Harbor, Fells Point, and Federal Hill. He is committed to providing a clean, safe, and welcoming atmosphere for family fun, special events, and relaxation at these waterfront locations. So we can all say thank you, Keith. When we go down to the harbor and Federal Hill and the waterfront, it looks beautiful with all the greenery, the flowers, the water. So thank you for that. So without further ado, we're gonna open it up for Mr. Cartwright to share some of his story, and then we'll open it up for everyone if you have questions, okay? You're up.
First of all, I'd like to say good morning to all, and I want to give a special thanks to Ms. Diane Sancilio as well as Gina Johnson for giving me this opportunity to speak. It's something I often thought about, being able to speak and just try to share my story with hopes that it may just help someone. Because all the time you can't help everybody, but if you could say something that may be an inspiration to someone, you want to try to do it as best as possible. So thank you all for that opportunity. And to speak for myself, starting out, like she said, I served 3 major incarcerations, totaling 36 years. And the last incarceration was 20 years, from 2000 to 2020. And yet as painful as it was rewarding at the same time, because it gave me an opportunity to transform myself, to change the way I thought, knowing it would help to change the way I act. But I had to go within myself and forgive me for my past transgressions and my actions, which led to my criminal behavior and my negative thinking, because I wasn't really caring about what happened with me or what really happened to other people, because I was so caught up on my immediate gratification as well as things from my past that I was covering up using drugs and other things to mask it, where I didn't have to go through it. I didn't have to feel it. I didn't have to think about it. But one thing I came to realize while I was gone in my incarceration, everything that I went through, I was supposed to go through. The negative feelings that I had, the loneliness, the feeling of rejection, despair, moments of despair, and just feeling totally alone. I had to go through that because that was a part of me growing up and maturing into a man and being responsible for my own actions, being responsible for my feelings, being responsible for my thoughts, and learning how to act differently than what I thought before. Because when you give up that, it helps to open the doors for so many things. And I began to start caring more about myself, more about my family. Even though I was still incarcerated, they were still my family. And I still had friends that cared about me and loved me and wanted better for me. So I began to think, Keith, you got to make a change somewhere. Somewhere within your life, you have to make a change. You have to start changing the way you think. And back in 2003, I had a deep conversation with my twin brother. And he told me sometimes God uses us in ways that we never think about. Sometimes it appears to be traumatic and it's bad, but out of that situation, something good has to come out of it. And for me, what came out of it, 2 things, was that I had a better understanding of me as an individual, and it helped to increase the relationship, not just with my twin brother, but my other family members. I began to speak differently because I was thinking differently. And the more I thought differently, I began to act differently. And I was giving up the criminal-minded thinking of just for the here and now, the immediate gratification, because I wanted what I wanted when I wanted it. And I wasn't sacrificing anything. I wasn't working for anything. I just wanted what I wanted when I wanted it. And it came at any cost. I didn't care. And through the research of myself, it was very painful because I had to acknowledge some things about myself that I didn't want to. That in my past, that in the criminal behavior, I hurt people's feelings, disrespected people's property. And I had to be accountable for that. I had to account within myself and say, okay, these things you did, you have to accept that. You can't put the blame on anyone else for the decisions that I chose to make. I had to accept it for myself. And it was painful to do that because I had to acknowledge the shame that I brought to myself and the shame that I gave to others and how they saw me in a different light. But when they see you doing something contrary to what you're supposed to be doing, I really felt bad. I really, really felt bad. And there was times I felt like I wanted to break down during my incarceration because I didn't know, like, how am I going to do this? I'm here alone. Even in the midst of 12, 1,500, 2,000 people, you can be alone. And that's where I found myself at times very alone, no one knowing what I'm going through, what I'm feeling, because everybody there has their own situation. And my situation for me was that I needed to forgive myself for what the things I had done. And once I began to do that, it began to open doors for me. It really, really began to open doors for me because before I just didn't care. I didn't care. My mindset was that I didn't care. But in the actuality, deep within the recesses of my mind, I did care because I began to make a change. I began to make a change. And today, I will say to everyone, this is the happiest I've ever been in my life. I'm free of drugs. I'm free of crime. I'm free of negative thinking, negative acting. And that's the biggest thing that can happen for me. I have the love and support of my family, my twin brother, my fiance, my cousins, my aunts, my uncles, and a host of friends that I have their support. Back then, that support didn't come easy. But I know that I'm trying, I'm putting forth assertive effort to make change within myself just to do good. I'm not worried about being the greatest. I'm not worried about fame and fortune. I just want to be a good man, live a good life, and do things for people and help people out. And the best way I can do that is to share me. I can't be selfish. I can't be selfish with what I've gained, the free spirit, the compassion for others. I can't be selfish with that. I have to give it away. And through my journey, I have met young guys who would come to me and ask me for advice because they saw how I was carrying myself with the respect, self-respect, and the respect that I gave to other people and treating them with a sense of kindness. I always had to do that. It came at a price, but that price was worth me paying. Sometimes you have to take a journey in life, that pathway you don't think about that you might have to go. But I had to go. I mean, God has a pathway for us. We don't know what that journey is going to be. We don't know where it's going to lead us. But if you apply yourself, open your mind, and be receptive to criticism, be receptive to advice, you can go anywhere. With the love of God, however you may believe, I don't care if it's Christian, Muslim, Jew, Protestant, however you believe, the faith that you have in you will carry you through that. And I had to develop my faith while I was there to make promise to myself, Chief, you're going to do better than what you did. And I had to do that. And I'm grateful today. I'm really grateful. I'm grateful to God that he presented me with an opportunity to give me a second chance. And that second chance came through me forgiving myself, looking at the window of opportunity, and just wanting to be much better than I was. I can't emphasize that enough because when you go behind those walls, it's a part of you that is lost and you can't get it back. And that's the part of you that you're losing is your self-innocence. You're no longer that innocent person. You're no longer that innocent person. When you're behind those walls and that mentality, that atmosphere itself, it breeds so much negativity that you have to find a place within it that you can get inside of you. And you can deal with yourself, your self-imperfections or idiosyncrasies of self that you have to look at. You have to look at yourself. You can't put your problems on everybody else. If you're having a bad day, let your bad day be for you. Don't reflect that negative energy on someone else. And I was learning all of that. I mean, this last 20 years of incarceration, as I said in the beginning, it was painful, but yet it is so rewarding to me because today I have so much more than I've ever had in my life. I'm not talking about monetary or property value. I'm talking about intangible things within myself that no one can give you. No one can give it to you. You have to get it for yourself. You have to be willing to give it to yourself and make the sacrifices from within. You have to give up certain things in the way you think. And I had to do that. I was 400, 500, 600 miles away from home, and I couldn't be in touch with my family like I wanted to be, to tell them certain things that I needed to tell them, to seek their forgiveness as well. But if I wasn't forgiving me, how can I expect them to forgive me first? I needed to do that. I really, really needed to forgive myself. My oldest aunt used to tell me all the time, baby, you have to forgive yourself. And once I was able to do that, I was beginning to feel better about who I was as an individual. Yes, I made mistakes. I made many mistakes. But am I to live my life in regret, or am I to live my life in reform? Because if I'm living my life in regret, I'm not progressing. I'm not doing anything but living my life in the past. And if I'm living in the past, I won't have a present. I won't have a future. And I choose not to do that anymore. My past is my past. I've accepted my wrongdoings. I repented to God. I repented to self. And I'm moving forward. I let those mistakes be an improving ground for me so that I know what not to do. And I know what I should be doing. And I take my time. I be patient with my efforts. And it's paying off. It's really, really paying off. I mean, there's guys in my predicament and situation who have come from incarceration and they come home thinking that I'm gonna have the world. You're not gonna have the world, bro. You're not gonna have the world. You have to work for whatever it is you want. You have to work, be patient, give yourself time, use the resources that's available to you, and you can do good. You can do good if you think you're going to come out of prison with a job making $25, $30 an hour. Sadly, mistake is not going to happen like that because you have to show your self-worth. And if you're not showing your self-worth to anybody, what can you expect to get from them? And that's what I've been doing, marketing myself. I was hired by Waterfront Partnership as a trainee. And within 60 days, I was hired on permanently because I just came home, I got this job, and I just worked, I applied myself. I did what I was asked to do, and I did what I needed to do. Go to work every day, put forth a good effort, and it paid off. I was hired permanent. So all your training that I did while I was in, preparing myself for this adventure, it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing. And windows of opportunity are opening up. I'm forging good friendships with people. And I'm just enjoying the newfound freedom that I have in being home. I'm not worried about what I don't have. I'm concerned with what I do have. And I have more than I've ever had in my life. And I say that with great compassion and emotion because when I was first sentenced to 188 months in federal prison, that's 15 years, 8 months, I knew not where I was going. I knew not where I was going. I was sent all the way to Terre Haute, Indiana, a federal penitentiary, one of the worst federal penitentiaries in the United States. It was an eye-opener. I knew absolutely no one. No one. I had to rely upon myself, my own inner strengths to help carry me and to adjust to that situation. It's one of the loneliest points in my life of being incarcerated. But I didn't give up. I didn't falter. I just kept pressing on, asking God to help me get through this situation. I didn't know when it was going to come, but it came at a time when God was ready for me to have it. And he started instilling it in me, allowing me to grow within myself as a human being and just recognize we all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. There's no perfect person walking this earth today. And if they are, that's in their own thought process. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for everything that I had to go through. And it's most importantly that before I got my actual release from incarceration, I had to give myself that second chance first. And that has opened the door for me to be able to give other people second chance. Sometime in life, we encounter people who are disrespectful. They do and say things to us. And as humans, it's natural that we may feel offended or disrespected or hurt behind that. And when we choose to hold on to those type of situations where someone has wronged us, it enslaves you to so much baggage. You walk around with this chains, dragging all of this emotional and psychological with you. It prevents you from being a better person or having a sense of close happiness within yourself because you're holding on to these things from the past. Okay, it happened. I grow through it, or we grow through it. Am I going to hold on to this? Am I going to hold on to this baggage that's going to lead me to have so much disappointment? You walk around with an attitude and you're projecting it upon other people in your actions, and you're not even consciously aware that this is what's going on because it's coming from within you. But when you decide to let that stuff go and you forgive, the forgiveness is not necessarily about the other person, but within you, that you're no longer going to allow this stuff to affect your daily life, to keep you so closed in or closed-minded to a sense of happiness. Yes, happiness comes from us, but it can come from outside around you with the relations that you have with other people. And we must be willing to do that. And when you free yourself from those chains of bondage, forgiveness, it's a plus. It helps. It helps a great deal. Believe me, it helps. Because if I was able to get into great detail, which I can at the time, about some of my past actions, wow, I've been forgiven. Not just by God, but by my family, my friends, but most importantly, forgiving myself. Because I help to open the door for me. And I choose to do that. I'm comfortable with it. I'm happy with it. And I just want to do the best that I can do in life. It's not going to be easy all the time. But as long as I don't give up and allow myself to succumb to my past thinking, it's going to be all right. I just can't see me allowing myself to go back to that way of thinking for immediate gratification to get what I want when I want it right here, right now, and not worry about the consequences of that. I can't see myself doing it. I'm not going to allow myself to venture that way again in life because I've worked too hard to get to where I'm at. And it's a blessing. It's a blessing. It's painstaking, but it's a blessing at the same time.
Keith, thank you so much. We want to leave a little time for folks to ask questions.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Anybody have any questions, thoughts, comments for Keith?
I just wanted to say thank you for sharing, for your openness, for you touched on a lot of really good points, and definitely we've all made mistakes. We've had to forgive ourselves. And one thing I really like that you said, you know, if we hadn't gone through some of the things we went through in our past, would we be the people we are today?
Yes.
Probably not. So it took some of those pains and those things that we had to go through to make us into the men and women we are today. So
Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Oh, you're welcome. You're very welcome. I mean, it's rewarding for me to be able to do it. I mean, this is the first time I actually had a chance to, or really spoke to people that I don't know. And when you get in front of people and you speak to that you don't know, it's nervous because you don't want to say the wrong thing to offend anybody. But at the same time, it's rewarding because you're just sharing of yourself that you kept so sheltered from other people that people didn't know that intimate side of you, intimate, you know, through your feelings and emotions. And I like it. I'm getting a lot of it today, and it's a new renown in me, and I feel good about it. And just looking at some of the faces on the screen, I see how intently I was listening. And I appreciate you all coming on to hear me speak. And I thank you all for your time. I really thank you all, and I appreciate your time. I also see my twin brother. He's on there looking. Here's my twin brother right here. He's in the upper left-hand corner. That's my twin brother, Kevin. And I'm glad to see him here as well and his support. I mean, that's my other half. And he's helped me a great deal, just as well as Daryl Green down the bottom, scratching his head. That's my cousin. He's like my brother also. And those guys have had a great impact upon my life. And I appreciate you all. Thank you so very, very much. And
does anyone else have a comment or a thought or question?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for your story.
Yes.
It's inspiring all of us, right? I was curious, if you had a chance to go back in time and speak to your middle school age self, maybe yourself at 10, 11, 12, what message would you want him to hear?
11 to 12, to listen. Listen to your parents, listen to your teachers, because they're the ones that's going to help shape and mold you as you grow. Your parents in the home, your teachers in school, they're helping you to learn, to educate you, learn how to read and write and things of that nature. And they set good role models. Back then in that time, I wasn't really listening. That's why I got in some of the trouble that I got in when I was younger, because I wasn't listening. I was being hard-headed. And you will have to be mindful of discipline. Discipline doesn't have to come in a physical form. Disciplining yourself mentally. And at a young age, we're somewhat like carefree, 11 and 12 years old. But I always feel like the children are our future. And if we can't give them a positive image or role model to see, what will their future be like? What will their future be like? Will they wind up like myself, incarcerated over a long period of time, or incarcerated where you'll be for the rest of your life? And you won't have a chance to do some of the good, positive things that you wanted to do in your life. And just being able to speak to them and share myself, yes, that's what I would have told me, to listen.
Thank you.
To really listen. You're welcome.
I see your brother has his hand raised, and mommy, is that your mommy on the phone?
No, that's my fiance.
Okay. But your brother has his hand raised.
Hey, Kev.
You're muted. Okay.
Good morning. How's everyone today?
Good morning.
Good morning, Keith. Good morning, colleagues. I'm just pleased and I'm honored to sit here and watch my brother share intimately and speak candidly about his life's transformation. There's been so many years that I've been without my brother upon our initial separation. Many years ago, there's so many things I encountered in my life that I couldn't share with my brother. Those were difficult times. There were so many things I look forward to being able to share with him. And it was unfortunate that we were separated. And as he said, which I felt was quite compelling, that he had to go through what he had to go through. Although uncomfortable, challenging, difficult, it was necessary for him to go through that, for him to become the man that God created him to be. But I sit here proud Just listening to him be able to share, be transparent, talk about his challenges, his life's experience, because I know that there are so many other people that can be helped and impacted by what he's gone through. And what he said, I thought was simple but so compelling about listening. And unfortunately, our youth today have that challenge, I believe, of not listening. So again, I'm just honored to sit here. He's such an orator and very well articulated his experience, his transformation. And I'm just so proud. I'm so happy to see him in this new space. I know it was overwhelming and difficult, but I'm just so elated and blessed to have him home, to have him sit here on this panel and touch other people's lives. And that's what we have to do. You know, some people make I've heard the statements that our young folks, this generation, is that they're lost. If they are lost, who lost them? We lost them. So we bear, you know, that cross, and we're the ones that have to go back and find them. So we don't want those to go through what Keith has gone through. So I thank you all. I'm not going to monopolize the time, but I just appreciate the platform for him to be able to share his story. And it's my prayer that someone, you know, on this video here is impacted by what Keith has shared. So Keith, I love you. Continue to look forward. There's so much that you left behind. The word tells us to look forward to those things which are ahead of us, and not behind. Maintain your integrity. Maintain your integrity. Don't compromise yourself for anything and anyone. It's going to take some work. And I'm a testament to that. It's going to take the work to get where you need to be and accomplish some of the things that you want to. But the race is not given to the swift, but to those that will endure. So be encouraged. Know that I love you infinity. And be steadfast. God bless you.
I appreciate your words. Love, man. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for coming out and support me, as well as everyone else, because it could have had something else to do. And I just thank you for your time. You know, I see a lot of my family members that are on here. I see my fiance, she's here as well. And I just thank you all for this opportunity. I really, really thank you. It means a lot.
I see your fiance had her hand raised, and then Dr. Cassandra, and then we'll close after those two. So, Miss Fiance, unmute yourself, please.
Did I do it?
Yeah, you did it. We can hear you.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Well, I like to say that I've been knowing Keith since we were like 13, 14 years old. And to see the growth in him and how he has really grown through the years, to hear it in his voice, because I remember years ago I would talk to him and I would know, because we were so close as friends, that he hadn't changed. I remember talking to him and I knew that he didn't change yet. And he would get upset with me, but he didn't even realize he had what he needed at that time. And now, future, when I started back talking to him 6 years ago, I could hear the difference in his voice and how he would explain himself, or if I had a problem, how he would help me through it. And just his whole demeanor just had changed, and how he had grew and how he talked. It was so positive and encouraging to me. So all I could do was help encourage him, along with him encouraging me, and we grew. And the more he grew, the more I saw the change in him. He just really changed. He just wanted more for himself, more for his life, more for everything about him, his brother. You know, he would talk about how much he wanted to be closer and closer to his brother. And the more he would say it, the more I knew he meant it. And he did everything in his power to make sure he got close to his brother and to his family members, you know. And I'm just so proud of him, how he gets up and make sure he go to work, make sure he do whatever he got to do to stay positive, you know. And I just want to encourage him to just keep going forward and don't let nothing stop you from what God has for you now, because what he has for you now is amazing. And I see it for you. And I'm so proud that you are talking to others, because I know that's the main thing you wanted to do, was be able to help someone else so that they won't have to go through the pain that you've been through in your life, all the way around with the bad things you have done and the people you have hurt, how really forgiving of yourself and how you wanted God to forgive you. And if don't nobody else know how much, man, you have cried together and laughed together and did whatever we had to do together for you to get to where you are now. And I'm just so proud of you, Keith.
Thank you.
I'm just so proud of you.
Thank
Just you alone, in your emotions and in all the things you went through in your life. I'm just so proud of you. And just keep going. Just keep going and stay on that panel to help others have a second chance, to know that they got a second chance and that they can do all things through Christ that strengthens them. All things. That's our favorite thing we say every morning. Is we can do all things through Christ that strengthen us. And just keep that, and keep sharing it with others. Keep sharing it with others, and I'll always have your back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your front and your side. And you sharing it.
Dr. Cassandra, did you have a final note or question? And then we're going to close. Okay.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
First cousin. And I just wanted to take a moment just to say, you know, how proud I am of my cousin sharing his story and his inspiring journey. You know, it is not easy, you know, to kind of bare your soul, if you will, and just kind of share the pain, the not so good choices, but also talk a bit about redemption. And so I'm so happy just to hear him on this platform, and my cousin Kevin, his twins, messaged and said, pain breeds purpose. And oftentimes things that happen to us or things that we go through really is not for us. It's for us to learn, but then ultimately our story will impact, inspire, and transform others. So Keith, I love you.
Love you too,
I'm
sir.
super proud of you, cousin. And we love you and look forward to seeing you soon.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. This has really been inspiring, and I love that you have such great support. So If nothing else, we have learned that forgiveness starts where?
With self.
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 Forgiveness starts with yourself, then you can forgive others. So we thank everyone for joining us this morning. Mr. Cartwright, we thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity.
I know we're going to be hearing good things about you.
Yes.
Speaking to our youth and those
Yes.
who have gone through similar things. We're looking forward to hearing about that. So hopefully you can join us again sometime this year.
I will look forward to it.
Share some other things about what you're doing and what you started doing.
Yes. Yes, I will.
So everyone have a wonderful, wonderful Monday, a wonderful week. And we thank you again for joining us.
Amazing
Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you.
Happy Monday.
Keep doing an amazing job, sir.